Today, we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra.
It started with whispers, rumors that sounded too wild to be true, until the FBI kicked down the doors of a Chicago warehouse and found the unthinkable. Billions in NBA gambling cash, hidden under layers of crates and fake invoices, all part of a sprawling operation that tied together professional basketball, organized crime, and one of the most elaborate money laundering networks the sports world has ever seen. The footage of that raid has already gone viral. Agents lifting duffel bags stuffed with $100 bills, briefcases full of betting slips, even poker tables with secret compartments. What they found inside that warehouse didn't just expose a few bad actors. It threatened to unravel the NBA itself. This all exploded on October 23, 2025, just 2 days into what was supposed to be a new NBA season full of excitement and hope. Instead, the morning headlines were chaos. 30 arrests across 11 states, federal raids, coaches and players being dragged into courtrooms, and whispers that the mafia had infiltrated professional basketball. FBI Director Kash Patel didn't mince words. Standing before flashing cameras, he declared, "This is a criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra." That's when it hit everyone. This wasn't just about betting gone wrong. This was about corruption at the highest levels, a collision between organized crime and the game millions trust. Two massive operations had been running right under everyone's noses. One was called Operation Nothing But Bet, a scheme built around manipulating NBA games through insider information. The other, Operation Royal Flush, was an underground poker ring backed by the mafia. Together, they generated tens of millions in fraudulent profit. NBA insiders, coaches, players, and staff were allegedly feeding private details about player injuries, lineups, and even planned game outcomes to gamblers who used that information to cash in big. It was systematic, calculated, and devastating. Federal indictments revealed text messages that made the whole thing sound like a movie script. Before a Lakers-Bucks game in 2023, former NBA player Damon Jones allegedly sold inside info that LeBron James would sit out, telling a partner, "Get a big bet on Milwaukee before the info's out." Those who listened made thousands overnight. A few months later, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier reportedly told a friend he'd fake an injury early in a game to help their bets hit. He left after 9 minutes, claiming foot discomfort, and every single underbet on his stats paid out. Prosecutors say over $200,000 was wagered on that single game, and Rozier was caught on camera the next day counting cash at home. Then came the bombshell no one saw coming. Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot himself, Hall of Famer, Finals MVP, was named in the same investigation. He allegedly tipped off gamblers about players sitting out and even acted as a face card in secret poker games run by the mafia. These weren't small games. They were high-stakes setups in luxury penthouses and private casinos, using technology straight out of a spy movie. Rigged shuffling machines stolen from casinos, X-ray poker tables that could see through cards, hidden cameras built into chip trays, even contact lenses that let players read invisible markings on cards. This wasn't gambling. This was precision-engineered fraud. And behind it all were four of New York's most notorious crime families: the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese families. They ran protection, enforced debts, and took massive cuts of every illegal dollar. Victims who refused to pay had their cars torched, homes vandalized, and, in one case, a yacht set on fire. What began as secret card games turned into extortion, threats, and intimidation. And NBA stars were the bait, using their fame to lure wealthy victims into these rigged games. The connection between the NBA and organized crime wasn't new. It had roots going back decades. The 2007 Tim Donaghy referee scandal was once considered the league's darkest chapter, but compared to this, it looks like child's play. Billions in illegal wagers, hundreds of hidden accounts, and direct mafia involvement made this the biggest sports corruption case in modern history. When federal agents swept across 11 states, they seized over $10 billion in assets, cash, crypto, cars, and property, all linked to this network. What's terrifying is how close all of this came to going unnoticed. The NBA had investigated Rozier a year before, after sportsbooks flagged unusual betting activity, but cleared him, saying they found no evidence of wrongdoing. Only later did federal investigators, with wiretaps and surveillance footage, expose how deep it ran. It raised an uncomfortable question. If the NBA cleared him, how many other cases slipped through the cracks? Commissioner Adam Silver called it deeply disturbing, admitting the league's internal systems were no match for organized crime. The NBA's partnerships with DraftKings and FanDuel were supposed to modernize the sport, but now they've blurred the line between entertainment and exploitation. When gambling becomes part of the game itself, integrity becomes a casualty. The fallout was immediate. Billups and Rozier were placed on indefinite leave. Their contracts, worth tens of millions, are in jeopardy. The FBI confirmed both men face charges carrying up to 40 years in prison. Former players like Damon Jones, already drowning in gambling debts, are accused of feeding information directly from locker rooms. Federal agents say the evidence is overwhelming. Over 3,000 recorded calls, hundreds of hours of surveillance, and paper trails leading from locker rooms to mob fronts in New York. But beyond the headlines, this scandal cuts deeper. It challenges whether fans can ever watch a game again without wondering if the outcome is real. Every injury, every substitution, every unexpected loss now feels suspicious. Sportsbooks across the country froze bets tied to NBA props. Analysts are already calling this the day the NBA's soul was sold. The human side of the story is equally devastating. These weren't desperate men scraping for money. Rozier earned $26 million a year. Billups had over $100 million in career earnings. They didn't need the cash, but greed, ego, and addiction pushed them over the edge. Some insiders believe it started small, harmless bets, a few inside tips, until they were caught in the web of organized crime. Once you owe the mafia, saying no isn't an option. And the technology behind the poker scheme still shocks experts. Modified shufflers, RFID cards, hidden cameras, the kind of stuff you'd expect from a sci-fi thriller, not a card table. Prosecutors claim that even the contact lenses were designed with invisible ink filters, allowing players to see markings that no one else could. In one game, Billups allegedly used them to pull off a series of impossible wins, draining a tech investor for over $250,000 in one night. The aftermath has left the league scrambling. Congressional committees are now demanding briefings on the NBA's relationship with sports betting. Lawmakers are calling for new federal regulations, saying the state-by-state system has failed. Even former players like Charles Barkley are furious, calling it the dumbest thing I've ever seen. As he put it, these guys make millions. Why risk it for pocket change? But this isn't just about money. It's about power, leverage, and control. Once organized crime found a way to exploit the NBA's gambling partnerships, it was only a matter of time before they infiltrated deeper. The mafia adapted, using digital payments, crypto laundering, and shell companies to stay invisible. Experts say the $10 billion seizure is just the beginning, a fraction of what's still hidden offshore. Meanwhile, the court cases are already underway. Billups, released on bond, wears a GPS tracker and faces up to 40 years if convicted. Rozier's defense insists he's innocent, but the evidence, texts, footage, and wire transfers tells another story. Their legacies, once defined by championships and records, are now tied to the biggest gambling scandal in sports history. For fans, this is a wake-up call. The NBA's close partnership with the betting industry has created a dangerous gray area. When players, coaches, and criminal organizations all find themselves chasing the same pot of gold, integrity doesn't just get blurred, it disappears entirely. The FBI says more arrests are coming, hinting that this may reach higher up than anyone expects. As the investigation widens, one thing is clear. The NBA has entered uncharted territory. Billions seized, Hall of Famers disgraced, the mob back in headlines, and a Chicago warehouse filled with dirty cash that may forever symbolize the day basketball's innocence died. Because if this scandal proved anything, it's that behind every bet, every whisper, and every guaranteed win, there's always someone pulling the strings. And now, those strings have been cut. For better or worse, the game will never be the same again.